Good afternoon, everybody. Here we are for our weekly appointment. It's becoming a habit. I look forward for my Wednesday to come to hit with the New Now series. I'm so excited. So it's a 1 p.m. sharp. I think we can give ourselves like a couple of minutes more to see who's gonna join us. As usual, you know that you will later on find the recording still here on Facebook, on our YouTube page. So no worries if you're not able to stay with me for the entire session. You can, come in and out. Go back into the recording at any time. It will work for you. Yes. So I think we can already start jumping into, first of all, who I am and the reason why I choose this topic for you today. So I'm Elena Boriani. I'm the co-founder and the CEO of LEA Growing People, which is a coaching and training company that has put together coaches and mentors that are all around the world. Why those those coaches? Because those were the coaches and the mentors who helped me and my husband in reach where we are. The road to get here was not easy. But now, we're very, very happy to say that we have a great marriage. We are, dealing with our parenting with success, and we are very forgiving towards ourselves every time we do things wrong. Thank you to Nicola. Thank you for joining. Hi. And, most of all, we were able to make LEA Growing People, which was our dream, to become a kind of a reality. And every day we climb a step. We climb a step further in this wonderful journey. Why I have chosen the marriage coaching as a topic for us today? Because this is where I started. This is where, I really, I'm able to say this is the biggest success I have achieved in my life. My marriage is definitely my biggest success. And coming from the family I belong, I would have never imagined I would have been able one day to say, my marriage is my biggest success, because definitely the role model I have received throughout my entire childhood was not really, maybe so good. The one that a person would expect to receive from their parents, for their grandparents. My parents split up when I was 5. And after that, I was moving back and forth, mom, grandma, dad, a little bit like a package. And then I found myself being raised most of the time by my grandparents. And even, their relationship was a kind of completely different from the relationship we try to build right now, because they live the Second World War. So there, the paradigm also between male and female were so different. And, I've been raised in this mentality that my grandma was saying to me, as far as I have food in my plate, a roof on my head, I'm okay. So it doesn't matter if my husband is cheating on me. It doesn't matter if it doesn't communicate nicely to me. It doesn't. I don't care if is rude or sometimes even violent. So for me, this was definitely not acceptable. Of course, when I jumped into my relationship with my husband, and we're talking about 19 years and a half from now. I was full of, doubt. How will I handle this? What if it becomes serious? What if I want to spend my entire life with this person? What I need to do in order to be a good wife? What I need to do in order to be a good partner? What I need to do in order to be there for him and being empathetic towards his need and towards the challenges he's facing on daily life? So I was so scared. I'm honest with you. I was literally scared. Also because I didn't have any role model to look back at. And maybe you are resonating with that, you know. I've been heard so many of my clients, so many of my friends say, one thing I know, I don't want to do like that, you know. And so we try to live our relationship the opposite as what we have perceived as a child, in order not to repeat the same mistake. But sometimes not even that is working successfully. So reason why I do define my marriage my biggest success is because at any moment in time I was in a challenging situation within my marriage. I had something within me, a kind of strength, a kind of push, a kind of power that was telling me, don't give up. You know, there will, for sure, you will find a way. And if it's not a way we will bring you together for your entire life, it will definitely be a way in which you might decide to split between one and another, but still love each other, still being able to raise your children together. So I remember me and my husband, we do find ourselves in front of each other, asking ourselves what we're going to do. We're going to continue, we're going to quit. And if you continue, what do we want to commit to? What is that we want to change that was not working? What are really our needs that we are not matching right now? So these are definitely, some touch points we really need to make sure we are taking care of when we have this kind of communication with our husband. But why marriage coaching? Because, there's a difference between sitting one in front of each other and communicating with everything that might comes out, and being in front of a coach that is looking at the two of you, and it's, helping the two of you to have a smooth communication, to go beyond the surfaces and see what is really hurting here, what is really relevant here, what is really a priority here that we are not taking into consideration enough. I can tell you how we approach to marriage coaching. So, because of course, when you are a coach, you also need to get coached yourself, so you want to walk the talk. So I'm not only coaching you, but there's a lot of marriage coaching me and my husband we had to receive in order to overcome all the challenges we had to face. I want to go back to the moment where I realized I was in love with my husband, with the person that now is my husband. At that time we were very young. We were at the university. I was 21, he was 24, and something was rising till it reached a point in which it was not only mental, it was physical, it was emotional, it was, touching every cells of my body, my skin, my palate, my ear, my sense. I was so actively vividly experiencing all my senses. And I was kind of, that's a new sensation. That's something so strong. What should I do with that power? And this is the moment when you look at the person in front of you that you have decided you will love, the person that you feel, you are in love with, and see all the beautiful thing in them. You start liking everything of them, the way they walk, the way they talk, the way they give you a hand, the way they breathe, the perfume they have, the clothes they are wearing. And, they become like God for you, for a precise moment in time. And wow, but then the relationship keep going. You keep facing different circumstances together, and you start learning new aspects of that person, and you start noticing, this is how we react in this particular circumstances. Oh, wow, this is how we react with others when it got triggered in a specific way. This is how he reflects his frustration on me. This is how, and you keep adding the list, and you get a little bit far from the God you were seeing at the very, very beginning. You kind of seeing other thing. And there's a fork. What is that I'm gonna do? I'm gonna accept it. I'm gonna fight to change it. I'm gonna quit. There are many, many options that are showing up there for you, right? So it's important at that moment of time to not underestimate that those things are happening, and not to underestimate how far you are moving away from that God that you had in mind, and how compromising you are, your acceptance, your judge, your happiness, and so far and so on. So it's trivial that in this moment of time, we are very conscious about it. We are very conscious about what is that I want to accept, what is that I will never accept, what is that I want to keep, what is that I want to let go. At the beginning, you of course try between you and your partner. Sometimes people that even try between them and themselves. They're not even open as much with their parents to bring this topic onto the table. But a successful marriage is about communicating, is about bringing everything that comes out, even the thing that we do not like, most of all the negative emotion, the negative feeling, the frustration, the anger, and deal with this. And deal with this consciously, deeply, in a very adult and mature way. I can tell you what coach did for us. When for the very first time, my husband started, his certification program to become a coach. Just because he was doing this, so many things reflected on our relationship. So many things reflected in the way he was parenting our children. So many things were reflecting on the way he was leading his people at work. So many things changed in his bank account. So many things changed in his relationship with his original family, with his parents. And so I start seeing my husband, after many, many years of struggles, of not understanding what I was not getting and be able to accept yet between our relationship, I start seeing that it was moving, transiting to a different place. And in that place where he was going through, it was, oh my God, getting so close back with the person I fall in love with. He reached that person again after 15, 16 years of time. And then he overpassed that person. And it became even better than the person I fall in love with. It was able to unleash all his inner power, inner strength, and become wonderful. So it was like, oh my goodness, if this is how coaching worked on my husband, and this is how just him working on getting coached reflects on our entire life, then I really want to get a little bit of this. And this is how I started with the coaching. But this is just to share with you a very important things. It doesn't matter if you are doing marriage coaching together, if you decide to commit to show up in a marriage coaching session with me together. You are still doing marriage coaching if just one of the two of you will show up. Because as soon as you will change, your changes will impact on your partner. It will change the way you communicate. It will change the way you deep listen to him or her. It will change the way you take action. It will change the way you perceive your future. It will change the way you do schedule or you do plan your goal for the future as a person and your goal for the future as a family. So now it's very important. What is that we want to do to start our first step towards improving our marriage. First things, you take action. You take action as one of the partner. It's not necessary that you weigh your partner to be bought in. And then you start. What will happen in the journey? So first of all, it's very important to understand for each of the partner, if you are coming together, or for one of the partner, what is that is relevant for me? What is that I want to honor every day? What is that I want to teach? What is that I want to, show at the world I am? What are the value, the type of activity, the type of job, the type of message that I'm giving? I want to be consistent on. And if those are mine, what are the other value that my partner wants to honor? Are they the same? Are they different? Of course, it's very difficult that we all have the same value, right? So that means that, when we hit into different value, we really need to agree. How space will I have to keep honoring this value, despite you don't honor that value? And which space I can give you in order for you to honor your value, despite those are not my value? And you see, agreements are taking place. Every time we do bump into a circumstance or into a topic that it's triggering, we need to walk towards agreement. We need to work towards designing something that it's good for both. In very strong couple, you are able to do that without the support of anybody. But sometimes you reach a point in which it's too hard to agree. It's too hard to design together. And it's so essential and important to have somebody there that can witness what is going on and that can help you facing what is really, really important, and what is that direction where both needs can be funneled and can find, satisfaction in an enjoyable way, of course. So that's so important that we really tap into the value. Second thing we want to tap into is the area of interest. Yeah, so the value are the way we want to live while we are living, while we are doing the things that we are doing, the way we want to be. I want to be a person that honored that and that and that value. But then life take place, and we might split our time into different sector of our life, right? So there's a time I want to dedicate to my personal development or to my health. There's a time that I want to dedicate to my friends. There's a time that I want to dedicate to, holiday or fun or adventures, things that really bring me fun and amusement. There's a time that I want to dedicate to my profession. There's a time that I want to dedicate to my home space, to my environment. There's a time that I want to dedicate to my spirituality potential. There's a time that I want to dedicate to managing my finances and my money. And this is so important to clarify within a couple. How, if you have, 100 hours, how will you split those hours in between all the matters that are important to you? It's a kind of a wheel of life, right? But what happens if one of the spouse, one of the partner really value a specific slice of that life, of that activity that the other person doesn't value at all? So it's really important to declare, what are the area in my life that I want my life to be filled with? And how much energy, how much time do I want to dedicate to those areas? So try to imagine, for example, the most typical example, work-life balance, yeah? People start working, they have a business that is going up or a new position, or they are very challenged at work, and they start working. And their careers lies, instead of being, balanced, it become like it takes the entire cake. And what if the other partner that it's by your side starts saying, I want a slice of this cake, but the career took it all. There's no space for me anymore. There's no space for our relationship anymore. There's no space for our communication anymore. So how are we going to deal with that frustration? Completely different would be if that's in a marriage coaching session or in a conversation you might have already between the two of you. You really sit together and you agree. What do we want to value in our life? How to what we want to agree, we share our energy into. And I can kindly ask you to ask to my partner, what is that you want me to do in case you won't be able to respect this commitment? What do you want me to do if your career will take it over? How can I help you in keeping this under control? And this is an example with career, but I do really, really invite you, take a little bit of time with your partner to draw a kind of a wheel of life and divide your life in different areas, in all the areas that really matters for you. And then compare. And have a talk around, I think you're giving too much space to that. I'm thinking you're not giving enough space to that. And start this kind of conversation. Another step, so after we've looked at the value and then we have looked at the area of your life, another aspects we really want to look at are, what are the limiting beliefs? What are your sabotaging voice that are holding you from reaching the best person you could be? I can tell you my experience. I've discovered that my biggest saboteur, my biggest limiting voice was the victim. I was always play like a victim. Because me, oh, poor me, poor you. You might find your biggest saboteur. Maybe it's the controller. You always want to have everything under control. Or maybe you are a hyperachiever. You are so much mindful of the goal that you want to achieve that you are not realizing what are all the aspects that you're leaving behind. Maybe empathizing with other people, maybe sharing, or maybe, take a little bit of moment to think, okay, what this will bring to me in a long-term perspective. So we need really to look at what are the limiting beliefs, the negative thinking, the negative emotion that are stopping me from reaching my biggest self, my best unleashed power. Once we have done that, we can explore together, okay, what are the strengths that I have? And what could happen in my relationship if I put all my strength, and if you put all your strength at respect, at service of our relationship? And again, when I'm talking about relationship, I'm not only talking about husband and wife who are still living together. I might also talk about husband and wife who are divorced or who are separated, but they still need to take care of their children. So you can still put your deal with your, limiting belief, your negative emotion, your sabotaging voice together, and you can still put your strength at service of what you have been creating together. Try also to imagine, now I take a comparison with the children, but try to imagine if you have created a business together. This is also a kind of a child, child businesses, they are projects that you have dedicated your energy to, you have dedicated your life to. So despite you're not a couple anymore, you're still our business partner. And so what is that we can put of ourselves at service of that project, at service of that thing that we have built together? It doesn't need to destroy. You don't need to destroy that thing that you have been created, a project. You don't need to destroy your children because of the fight that you have between the two of you. When there's no communication, when there's no respect, when there's no intimacy, when there's no trust, everything that involved the two partners is affected. Also, your relationship with other people around you, your relationship with your children, your performances at work, your efficiency, your sleep, your stress, your body weight, everything is affected. So we really do not need to hold on to these things. To recap, value, area of life, saboteur, limiting belief you're holding on to, and then your strength. And at the end, the future. What is that you want to build together for your future? As a family, what are your family objectives? What are your family KPI? If your family was a business, which roadmap do you want this business to go on to? Which milestone you want this business to touch upon? Which success you want to bring in? Where do you see your marriage as a business being in 30, 40 years from now? Where you will get older together? What you will be celebrating? Which accomplishment, which achievements will you be celebrating in 20, 30 years of time from now? Where you will be? Where your children will be? Where your projects that you have been creating together will be? So being very clear on your life purpose and what is that you need daily, yearly, quarterly, yearly, every 5 years, every 10 years to achieve in order to get there. So those are the area we will be covering in a marriage coaching sessions with me, mainly because if we do not have those aspects clear, it will be really, really difficult to be able to manage with all the other things that will arise from living in a couple, from facing all challenges daily. So if you are a partner that you are struggling in your marriage, or if you are a couple that see that you don't have very clear, despite the much love you have between each other, where you are going, or if you are a couple planning to have a baby and you want to be sure that you will give them a very harmonical, secure, clear, safe place where to be raised, make sure you have a conversation with me. As all the coaches in LEA, we always do provide a free initial coaching session where we can really, go in depth. And in addition to all the points that I have touched here and that I think are necessary and primarily to look at when you start a marriage coaching relationship, you can also bring there on the table what is that your specific topic you need to deal with right now. Thank you, Rege. So what is this specific topic that you need to deal right now, and how the LEA marriage coaching can help you to get this topic sorted, but also insert this single topic in a bigger picture. We don't want to coach the topic. We want to coach you as a couple, you as a person. The topic will be just a layer, just the tip of the iceberg, but we need really to make sure we have clarity on who we are, where we want to go together, and how we will do that. So I want to close this session by saying, yes, my marriage is my biggest success. How did I get there? A lot of hard work, a lot of conscious choices, a lot of love, and a lot of work on my personal development. I don't fear any challenge. I don't fear any arguments and any fight, because now I know how we can deal them together. So if you want to feel the same certainty, the same positivity towards your future of your marriage, please reach out to me. For any question you might have, don't be shy. Reach out to me. I'm doing this not only because it's the job I've chosen, but most of all because I feel I've been so lucky to be able to overcome all the challenges and feel so strong in my marriage right now that I really want to keep any other couple in the world to feel as strong as I am. I never, from now on, since I reached that point, I never had doubt on my relationship anymore. And I always have the certainty I have a partner on my side, which is holding me and which is pushing me daily to reach my biggest performance. My husband is my most important coach. So the results we want to get is that you learn to be the coach of your partner, that you're going to be the best coach for each other, supporting, not letting the other person down, making the other person accountable, celebrating success together, expanding your knowledge, managing your fear, and growing consistently as a people, growing consistently as a couple, growing consistently as a project, and growing consistently as a role model for the future couple to be. I really thank you very much for the time you spent with me. I hope it was valuable. For me, it's always very, sweet and emotional to be able to share how much passionate I am about this topic. I wish you a very, and as Regezier, as she said, usually a growing day. And this is all from Elena, co-founder and CEO of LEA Growing People, Marriage, Parental, and Positive Intelligence Coach. I wish you an amazing day. Thank you.